a motel. What? So what happened was, so I got really fed up with the tilting of the bed, and I just decided it was finally time to actually go through the trouble of, redoing the bed. And at the same time, I'm also sort of like trying to get ready and get the van ready and everything to go up north, because the heat is here, you guys. It is here hardcore. It's even hitting like up in the mountains. The only as high as I can get around here is 7,000 feet, and apparently you have to get to like 10,000 to really get cool. So I'm gonna be heading north soon. And at the same time, I was having trouble with my phone. I might have dropped it a little bit in my pee bucket. It might have got a little pee in the charging port, and it just would not. It was having really hard time charging. Kept like giving me this alarm when I tried to charge it. Sometimes I could actually get it to charge, but I could never get it to like plug into my computer where I could transfer files. And I need to be able to transfer the video files in order to make these videos. So I knew I needed to bring that in. So anyway, so there was just like all kinds of stuff happening at one time. And I was getting ready to go north, and I wanted to be able to spend some extra time with my daughter before I did that. So I decided, you guys, you lovely people, have given me some Hotels.com gift cards. And I thought, why don't I use one or two of those to stay in a hotel for a little bit? Just a night or two was the original plan, so that I can take care of all of this stuff before I take off. So I checked into the Motel 6. I got my phone fixed for around $100. But I tell you what, side note, I would not have been able to do that. In fact, this whole month has been like a very financially straining month. And I don't know what I would have done without the gifts that you guys have sent me. Number one, my daughter turned 18 this month, and I 100% would not have been able to give her any kind of gift or celebration of any type if it hadn't been for you guys. Y'all let me give my daughter an 18th birthday, and that is just, thank you. It means the world to me. And then the phone thing, I would not have been able to get my phone fixed. I was barely like, this has been a really rough month. And I just would not, like, financially speaking and emotionally speaking, but that's another story. But I would not have been able to get that done without you guys. So I just want to give an extra little thank you to you, that I don't know how I would have survived this month, and how I would have given my baby girl an 18th birthday celebration without y'all. My cup just runneth over for you guys. Thank you so much. So I got the phone fixed, I celebrated my daughter's birthday, and then I'm gonna tackle the bed. And I disassembled my bed, the bed that I had already built, kind of destroying some of the pieces in the process because I had used wood glue, and so like I had to anyway, so I disassemble the bed, and then like I go to the place to buy the wood, and I don't know if you know anything about me, but it takes me like forever to like work up the courage to ask for help for something. So I'm like in and out of the Lowe's, it's the Lowe's. I'm like out in my car trying to work up the courage, going into the thing and like trying to pick out the wood, and then trying to work up the courage to ask somebody for help, chickening out, going back out to my van. Like, so it's like a 2-hour process before I'm finally able to, and not only that, but like I cannot, my brain just will not wrap around how do I figure out the measurements. Because the problem here, and the reason why my bed wasn't level to begin with, was because, of course, the floor of the van slopes in like a weird way. And so I needed to be able to figure out how, like, all the different measurements that the legs needed to be. And I spent, like, before I even started this process, I had tried another time. Like, so I've spent probably 2 or 3 days, hours and hours and hours of my time, like setting up cans and using strings and like trying to figure out how do I do this, because you also can't just like measure from the bottom of the floor to the top of the ceiling, because the ceiling also has like a weird slope and like, bend to it. So every time I would measure, I would come up with different numbers, and I was just, oh my gosh, it was so frustrated. So, I get to the Lowe's that day, and I'm still like, I don't trust the measurements. I'm going to spend some more time trying to figure out these measurements. So and it's hot, and it's so hot. And first, I figure I need to park as level as I can in order to like get level measurements, right? And of course, the only place to park level anywhere near the Lowe's, there's no shade. So I'm searing sun, like the sun here sears into your skin. And so the sun is searing, it's hot, and I'm frustrated because my brain just does not work. And 2 hours of me like trying to figure out this measurement situation. And then maybe another hour, I don't know exactly how long, of like going back and forth into the store, out of the store, trying to like work up the courage. I know it's silly, but you know, it's something I deal with. Finally, I work up the courage. I go up and I'm like, I confirm, you guys can cut. She's like, yeah, we can cut. So then I like pick out the wood. I have them help me get the wood out. I'm like doing so good. I'm like, I'm so freaking productive over here. It's not even funny. Then I get up to the register and she's like, okay, what cuts do you need? Because you want 2 or 3 cuts. We can't do custom. And I'm like, you can't do custom cuts? She's like, we can't do custom cuts, but we'll like cut it in half for you. And I was like, wait, you can't do custom cuts? Wait a minute. You've done custom cuts for me before. I told you 8 inches. Let's like, you can't do custom cuts of any kind, like not of any kind. She's like, no, we won't do any kind of custom cuts at all. And I just lost it. Right there at the register. I just started crying, and I'm trying so hard not to cry because, you know, I don't want to put this off on this lady. And if I I'd already like got a bottle of water and had opened it and had started to drink it. So I needed to pay for the water. If I hadn't needed to do that, y'all, I would have just walked right out, but I needed to actually pay for this water. Like, I'm trying to pay for the water, but I'm like crying. I'm like, wait a minute, because I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do at this point because I now have no bed and I don't know how to use a power saw, and I'm petrified of a power saw. So how am I going to do this? How am I possibly going to make this bed? What am I gonna do? Like, I was just so overwhelmed in that moment. So I'm just crying and crying. And of course the lady's like, oh my gosh, what's wrong? And it's gonna be okay. And here, give me a hug. And I'm like, but I probably stink. But she gave me a hug. I paid for the water. I left, and I just freaked out because what do I do now? I don't have, if they won't give me custom cuts, and I checked with Home Depot, they also, I don't know if they've changed the stuff here in this area, but you know, like their policies or whatever, but they won't do any, they'll just like cut it in half so you can get it into your vehicle. So I was just so overwhelmed and so scared, and I didn't know what I was going to do. And thank God and thank y'all that I had the hotel to go to that night, because I genuinely don't know what I would have done. It would have been my first night literally sleeping on the street since I was 16 years old. Yeah, I was homeless for a little time when I was 16. That's another story. But at least I had my phone fixed, and I did have a motel to go to that night. So after a while, I calmed down and I thought, you know, there's nothing to do at this point except learn how to use a power saw. What else am I going to do? And hope that even though I don't have like a place to set up or anything, I can still safely get this done. So the next day, I go to the Home Depot this time because I'm like, well, the Lowe's won't do it. Let me just double check that the Home Depot won't do it. And no, they won't do it. So I got a jigsaw because it seemed like the easiest saw to learn how to use. Maybe that's just in my head, but that because I watched some videos and, you know, it just seemed like the easiest saw to learn how to use. So I got a jigsaw, I got wood, and in the back of the Home Depot parking lot, in front of all these like dudes waiting for construction jobs, you know, like guys that I guess are like day workers, and they're like watching me pull out this power saw and this battery, and of course like haul around for a while before I even start using it because I have no clue what to do, and I'm very scared, and I'm quite fond of my fingers. So they get quite a kick out of watching this old lady trying to learn how to jigsaw wood out in the middle of the Home Depot parking lot. But eventually I turned that saw on and I started to saw through that wood, and it was scary, and I didn't get an awful lot of footage of it because again, it was scary and it was hot and I was overwhelmed and I was trying to get it done before like the serious heat of the day came in, so I didn't get a lot of footage. But here's what I did get. Little ones are so hard to keep a hold of. Did I get the measurements right? Will it be level?
Look at that bed being all level and shit. I did it. I did it. I did it first try. I did it. I can't believe it.
And now I have a level bed. I have a level bed. I'm not rolling on my head. It's amazing. Oh, and I forgot to tell you that also during all of this time, my solar panels, my big 200-watt solar panels, the ones that died, you may remember 3 or 4 months ago, 3 months after I had bought them, and they got them replaced back then. Well, 3-4 months later, they died again. So I had to go through the process, and thank goodness Anna at Kufly was able to replace them again. So I also had to like wait here in town for the new solar panels to come. So it's just like a lot all at one time. But those are replaced. Now I have my phone is working again, so I can transfer my files and get caught up on videos again. And I have a level bed. Oh, I have a level bed. And I even like exchanged out too, because I've decided that the shelves weren't working. I'll do a little tour-ish thing maybe. I don't know. I didn't change it that much, but I did change out shelves for drawers because that holds more stuff. I think that's going to be more beneficial for me. So I got a lot done, and again, I would not have been able to do any of it. Not a single one of those things. Fix the phone would have really been bad if I couldn't have done that. Not being able to celebrate my daughter's 18th birthday would have just been devastating for me and very disappointing for her as well. So you guys, just really, I cannot thank you enough. There just aren't enough words to tell you how much that means. And it's been a lovely little break, I gotta admit. It's been really nice to be in a motel for a few days. I did figure out one thing that is more convenient living in a van. I think maybe 4 or 5 times since I've been here, I have, I guess, gone to the bathroom, forgotten my phone, and then come and sat back down. And then usually an hour or so later, I go looking for my phone, and I'm like, where did I put my phone? I can't find my phone. I'm looking in my purse. It's not anywhere. And then I realize it's in the bathroom. I have to get up, go get it. That never happens in a van. Point for van life. So this has been my home for the last few days. So luxurious. I've had things like unlimited power, a toilet that simply flushes my troubles away, and running water, and a shower, a very cool shower. The only room they had was this one for disabled folks. I asked, are you sure I'm not taking it away from somebody who needs it? She promised, so I hope that is the case. Anyways, I got a lot done. It was worth it. I have a little bit of buyer's remorse, but I'm so freaking glad. What's on there? I'm talking about aliens. I'm just so freaking glad to have the bed level that you know, just that would have been worth it. But I got other things done too. I had to move my storage unit because they were going to raise my rent again to $73 a month for like a storage unit that's like about that big, like from this little space right here, 5 by 5, $73 a month. No way. I found another one that for the first 3 months anyway, it's only $19 a month. So I'm moving all my stuff over there, and then I'll figure out what I'm going to do at that point. I'm still just trying to get rid of it all, but I want to sell it. I don't want to just give it away or throw it away because it's worth something. And because I have trouble, you know, doing chores, I will often like upload it, you know, to like Craigslist and Facebook and then forget that it exists and not even check anything. I'm so sorry to anybody who's tried to buy it. Anyways, so, you know, I'm going to try again. But, so yeah, I got a lot done. I was able to clean out all of my big water jugs, put some vinegar in there and shake it around and kill that bacteria. I charged up every single chargeable item that I have. It's all tippity top. What else did I do? I rested. I chilled the F out. And I wasn't super hot, you know, like I was chilled, if you know what I mean. So it was good. And there is a little part of me that's like, I was like a little worried to do this because I knew that after reminding myself how luxurious things such as running water and flushing toilets are, that it would make me like, you know, have even more trouble in the van for a minute. And I'm gonna be honest, dreading a little bit getting back in the van. But there's also a part of me that's like ready for my own bed. You know what I mean? Like even if it's not like the best thing you've ever had in your whole world, it's still your bed and you still feel more comfortable in your bed. So I am like ready for that. And you know, I think all in all, it was good. It was good. Even if I have a little bit of like, you know, when I get back in the van for a minute, it will have been worth it. So yeah, on to the next adventure, guys. And if you threw a party, invited everyone.